Well, this is just discussion, and I think Travis expressed that no extra meeting. I believe John did as well, and I agree with that. I don't think we need to increase our budget.
Do we need a motion?
No, I think it's just a consensus.
Okay.
We just ask it to be added to the agendas.
Yes.
Workshop session.
Yes, workshop.
It's not going to add anything to the budget.
The extra meeting would.
Discussion possible approval of sauerkraut days activities.
So I don't think that we're being asked to approve anything.
No, they just kind of want our input, I think.
Sean and I are here representing as committee members for sauerkraut.
And they're just wanting us to be aware that they have 3 different options and they
You guys should all have in front of you
Yes.
2 options for sauerkraut days.
haven't
We
decided
want-
yet, or you are.
How are you,
Looking for a yay or nay from the city. Yes. Your input.
how do you guys feel, you individually feel about the options and?
We had a meeting at my house on last Sunday, a week ago, and it's all over the board. It's no changes at all, or don't have it at all. So right now we're kind of focused on maybe having a one-day event instead of a full weekend event. So,
I do like the car cruise idea. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of, I think that.
Granted, it's the committee's job to put on sauerkraut days. We just ask permission from the city. So we're just asking which way, if you guys have a preference or a indication on which way to proceed.
I guess, I don't have a preference. I mean, that's strictly up to you. I mean, we've never stepped on your guys' toe per
Is
se.
Brandon saying it's out there?
Yes.
You guys can step in, please.
Correct.
You know, I mean,
So let me ask you, when you guys were planning and stuff, I assume that you talked to some type of health organization on this kind of thing.
And as of right now, Lynn County Health is okay with it.
Brandon, we're discussing the
As
possibility
long
of
as you
sauerkraut
social
day.
distance. My opinion is it's going to be hard to social distance in a beer tent. You know, so that's why we're offering not a tent. Maybe if we do like a beer garden or something and have it all earlier in the day, don't run it till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
So there's no bands, there's nothing like that.
We would
Get rid of that. We keep.
So the big stage bands, we would still keep the local talent, like, you know, do our.
The ones that are inside the beer
Saturday morning and
tent
after-
during the afternoon, are those the ones that, okay,
Not a
yeah,
stage band.
okay.
so when you say doing a beer garden, you're gonna have that all blocked off like you?
We would rope it off like normal. But our thought was having the beer tent, that goes a lot, and you with loud music and in a tent, you gotta get some space to have a conversation. So we're trying to eliminate that.
The tent part, yeah.
What do you want to ask Brandon?
I brought Brandon in because Brandon is the head of our EMA, and
Which, for what it's worth, we have a couple of those people on our committee.
Well, that's good.
One of them, but
I just kind of wanted his opinion on if he had an opinion.
I can meet with the Department of Public Health and get an answer on the gatherings. I know some of the stuff has been waived, like sporting events. I don't know, you know, like weddings have been waived, funerals have been waived, but I don't know how sauerkraut days would qualify. Is it a fundraiser? Is it a nonprofit? You know, I don't know how that would fall into it. You know, but there's also other things happening, live music at different places. So I think the big thing right now is they're just practicing being smart, you know, social distance when you can, that type of stuff. But I can get an opinion from the Department of Health what they think. You know, we're not talking the amount of people that are going to the state fair. You know, it's not of that magnitude. But
well, it's one of our concerns as
here's
a
my
committee is
concern.
with nobody else doing anything, is everybody going to come?
So that's my concern.
That's a very real
That's
concern.
a huge concern.
Or it could be just the opposite and not very many people.
When we were thinking of that's when we thought we'd keep it more local. And keep the local businesses helping us.
So just so everybody else knows, one of the options in there is to close off Main Street, 2 blocks of Main
Do
Street.
you want me to read the 3 options?
Not have us do a food tent and have the local businesses in town just set up restaurants outside.
So option A would be
If Regal
the
wants to
state.
come and put a booth downtown, if Whitey's wants to come put a booth downtown, or I talked to Berner, if he wants to come put a bar downtown, whatever, and invite everybody local businesses.
Let me ask you that question. If you just said bring his bar downtown, who would be covering the insurance on that?
We're looking at our dram shop.
Okay. Because like,
With that, then we want to be able to have the beer garden to cover that.
because when the police or fire department had theirs, they used my dram shop insurance through, I could set it outside, but I had all
We
the beer,
purchased our own to cover it.
the beer had to be bought by me.
Right.
And then I made a donation back to them. So that way,
And it depends on how carried away we get with it too, is what our investment is.
Yeah.
Is also what it may look like.
So, I'm gonna read these three
We're gonna talk
options
to
so
H&H, or
forward.
the shows, next gen shows, Vernon, about rides. Because right now we're on the hook for 10 grand minimum ticket sales unless we can change something with him. He said if we have sauerkraut days, that's our contract. Unless he's nice enough and says we can do something different.
well, he's got to be hurting because he ain't going to
The
apartment.
only way he's not getting paid is if we cancel it altogether.
Okay,
So if
so
we have
option
something, we
A,
gotta
I'm gonna
pick
just
it.
read this, can you just stop for a second, please? Option A is stage, rides, normal food vendors, beer tent, parade, 5K, car show, fireworks, street dance, movie in the park, closer to a typical schedule, but no ice cream social, no softball, and no fireworks.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Saturday night.
Fireworks moved to Saturday night at dusk. Option B would be the 5K parade, car show with double space parking. No beer tent, just a beer garden, no rides, no stage. Open 2 blocks of downtown to local vendors, businesses only. 3 local musicians perform in the afternoon. Movie in the park or on the side of the school. Fireworks Saturday night at dusk. Option C would be the 5K parade, car cruise, movie in the park and or on the side of the school. Fireworks Saturday night at dusk, no downtown activities at all. So my first inclination, for my opinion, would be that we don't have sauerkraut days, right? But then we canceled the splash pad, and oh my gosh, you would have just thought, you know, we put somebody's grandmother.
You're gonna get it either side, no matter which way you go.
Yeah, so, but one of the reasons that we canceled the splash pad was because we knew that since nobody else around was gonna be open, we were gonna have an influx of people. And I feel like you would run into that same thing here.
So
where
who
you
is
would have
already
more
canceled?
people. What?
Who has already canceled around us?
Our biggest
I think
competitors
Heritage
is,
Days is canceled.
Heritage Days is done.
Beef Days.
Soul and Beef Days is done.
Specifically, crowd-wise, we are concerned about St. Jude Sweet Corn Festival and Springfield, which are both canceled, which are the
Okay.
same weekend.
Because they're the same weekend,
And
but think
State
about
Fair.
this, if it's all summer and you haven't been able to go to a single carnival and
Yeah,
get
I
a thing of
understand.
cotton candy or a cone dog or a funnel cake, I mean, you literally have everybody here. And let's be honest, some people are so crazy about sauerkraut days, they're not gonna stay home. They don't care if they get coronavirus if it means celebrating sauerkraut days. So that's kind of where I'm at.
And we've said all of these same things.
Yeah.
You're gonna get an influx of people, people may or may not get sick, let chips fall where they may. You don't do anything, everybody's gonna be mad and probably having massive parties in their yard anyway.
I
because
think
it's
there
sauerkraut
may
days.
be a little more understanding this year just because of everything that's happening.
Right.
We didn't do it, but I agree that
How,
there's going to be
for
some.
what it's worth, we're gonna have fireworks because they're already paid for it. So,
Yeah.
but my personal thought was to have the lighter bands, the tent bands during the day, and just wrap up with fireworks.
Right.
Have something
Mike had a
that.
question.
Just, well, I went to a car show in Albernet Sunday. That's the first car show that's been in Lynn County this year. And last year they had 110 cars there. This year they had 250. But they had a real problem with social distancing, all of that. So you don't have any idea what your liability is on that.
Kind of like going to a council meeting.
Well, yeah, I mean, nice job on the social distancing here.
I mean, I guess, I absolutely love the car show that you guys put on every year. And, I mean, I'd hate to see something like that, but I mean, do you say, we're only going to allow 150 cars? And, I mean,
Well,
you
that's
can't
the
do
problem.
that.
We would have more than normal just because of the year. They're not getting out to go to car shows. So my guess would be we would have more than normal. We don't do anywhere near social distancing on those cars, and we couldn't put them in, if we get more than normal, we'd go right through Main Street on out. to the rest.
Cover every street in town.
Well, and we've talked about just doing a cruise, just a car cruise.
And I don't know how well a cruise will go, but in the problem, we looked at that years ago, and you're smarter than I, but you got some real how you get turned around in any of the ways you go on this thing. Because you can't just go around, drive around Lisbon, nobody's gonna wanna do that. So, I don't know,
One of
I don't know anything about cruises.
we were still considering having a parade. And we could do a parade a couple different ways, and we have some other things in mind, but we thought about incorporating, like, do every other float have it be a car, or do 2 cars and a float, whatever, just incorporate someone, it's a reason to get your car out and shine it up and go somewhere.
You know, with the parade too, if they could expand the route, you would be able to stretch people out a lot further
Yeah.
around town than just having everybody in a couple blocks. So that would be a good alternative, making a much larger route than we've ever had in the past.
So I
And if we
think-
didn't have anything downtown, we wouldn't have to worry about that being shut off.
So I think that, like you said, we pretty much let the Sauerkraut Committee do their thing. And I think, I'm of the opinion that we'll continue, or I would personally do that, just let you guys make the decision and, we support you financially.
I mean, it's basically what is, if you don't want us to have it, we won't have it.
Well, I would like
You
to
know,
hear what Brandon finds out,
And
but
some of that stuff.
Well, one thing too to remember, if you're gonna have fireworks, let's say, okay, you could easily put 250 people in the park, probably minimum. So if you're gonna do that, and then you do a car show and you have a couple 150 people or whatever in that area, I mean, at what point is one a bigger liability than the other, just doing Sauerkraut Days as it is, and it kind of spreads everybody out. So
Are you guys still planning to do fireworks at the park, or was there another location?
That decision depends.
That decision hasn't been made yet? Okay.
is there any
It'll either be
discussion
the
of,
school or the park.
is there any discussion of if you don't have Sauerkraut Days, pushing the fireworks display back a bit, or no?
I don't know schedule-wise, and I don't know, if we haven't reached out to anybody that asked that question. All I know is we got a significant discount if we prepaid them by the end of the year, so they're already paid for.
And they wouldn't
And
allow
I'm
us to
guessing
use
we
that
could
next
reserve
year?
it until the future. Yeah,
Because it's already
You're
purchased.
saying no?
I'm guessing we can
I know,
reserve
but
it.
he's
We
saying
can.
no.
I would think so, yes.
Isn't a lot going to hinge on the carnival rides, whether they let you off the hook or not?
Yeah, but I'm guessing we could probably talk Vernon into rewording his contract.
Yeah. If he
Well,
would
let me
do
rephrase that. If we can
I want to
probably-
see Sauerkraut needs the financial.
We could probably talk Veronica into redoing his
I
contract.
don't think they'd have sweet corn days in Cedar Rapids, are they?
No.
No.
The only thing that's around here is going to be, beef days are going to do something similar to what we're kind of thinking as well. From there, I mean, you're looking at the Cedar County Fair, the, Jackson County Fair,
4-H and races.
yeah.
I mean, they're still gonna have. some-
In Cedar County, they're backing down a lot too. I mean, they're big
They've-
entertainment.
yeah, they've cut
camp.
down a ton.
Yeah.
But,
In the history of Sauerkraut Days, have we ever not had it?
During World War II, I think.
There was one year, because I remember
There's a lot
talking
of
about
years ago,
that.
they used to have beef days here, pork days, they used to barbecue on Main Street. So Sauerkraut Days, I don't know, they probably had it for the last 20 years, but
Because we had a 100-year celebration at one point. didn't we?
Yeah, it was 1909, I think, they started it, but then they called it something different for a number.
So we've had a, Lisbon, the city of Lisbon has had a celebration every year,
Yeah.
except maybe.
No. Because they quit it for a long time, and then Burl and Levon and those guys all started it back
there
up.
used to be pork barbecue day, they had for a while, the Legion did.
So when is your guys' next meeting?
Depends on what you guys tell us tonight.
I guess what Travis has already proposed is you guys make the decision. I mean, it's the city's.
Jerry's gonna have a conversation with Vern at Next Gen Shows. He's gonna have a conversation with the fireworks guy. He's planning on having a conversation with our insurance person. There's still a lot of things that have to happen,
So why don't you come back in 2 weeks and we'll have this discussion again?
and that's one.
Because that'll give us time to
Yeah.
have a break and look into stuff and we'll have more.
Yeah. Brandon can come back with information. You guys can come back with information, and then we can kind of,
I'll just throw this out there too, because Nikki Spore.
yeah.
She's on our committee, and she wants nothing to do. She said, I don't think you guys should have.
Yeah.
That was her professional advice.
Right.
We have a couple business owners that are on our committee that said, if you do it, I'm probably going to abstain. So I mean, it's,
I mean,
everybody has their own personal feeling.
they do.
I say go all out and do it the way we've always done it, so.
Like the restroom and stuff at the park will be locked, because there's no way we're gonna be able to get those disinfected.
I mean, that's what we said too.
Yeah.
'Cause- So if we do it, we've got to do porta potties, we've got to do an extra hand washing station.
Yeah, I mean, that adds a whole new level of,
Right. You know, we have a little bit of money in our fund, even though we're.
I mean, it's-
We have some room to do some things.
We don't have.
wiping down tables in the tent, under the,
So there's now.
Right.
I mean.
But we can't do too much.
You don't have to spray.
We can't put too much investment in it if we're not going to get anything out.
right, exactly.
You know, so.
All right,
So it sounds like you guys have.
let's
We'll revisit
we're
that.
gonna-
We'll put you on the agenda for
2
2 weeks. Okay?
Our primary concern was if you guys said, we prefer you not do it, then
Sure.
we would find a way to not do it. So that's
All right.
basically what we're looking for.
I think we all just need a little bit more information.
Yep,
Yeah, I agree.
yep.
I mean, are you up for no changes? Do everything the way we've always done?
I would not be for that.
No.
I would scale it down.
Maybe.
I mean, that's my personal opinion. That's,
I don't know if I'm okay with anything right now because I don't have enough information,
Right.
but I'm definitely
But
not.
as a committee, we've decided, we've narrowed it down that maybe doing a one-day event on Saturday is probably the best route to go.
I want to hear.
Whatever
some
that
information
looks
from
like.
Brandon.
Whatever that looks like, then we'll adjust it from there.
Yeah, also like to hear official information from
yeah.
people much smarter than I, because I would shut it down.
As long as we're not shut down by the state of Iowa or Lynn County Public Health or anybody
I'll
else,
make sure we.
then we're planning on having some kind of an event.
Yeah, I would shut it down, but I'm not going to tell you guys you have to. Like Travis said,
that's-
you're the committee.
That's, if there's people that don't want to go, don't.
Yeah, and I won't attend this year, so.
all right, let's move on.
Thank you.
So you're gonna be back in 2 weeks.
Thanks for coming, guys.
3 weeks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Approval of cornice and window hood project for Casey and Luke Kroll through the Downtown Reinvestment Program.
As most of you guys know, they did receive the B Lisbon grant. They are remodeling that building down there that used to be Budget Blinds. Casey is putting a photography studio in there. And after they had already established what project they were going to do, they decided that they would like to replace the, what do they call it, the cornice and the window hoods. So they did apply for the Downtown Reinvestment Grant, and I sent it on to Historic Preservation. They think it's a good idea, and we're just asking for you guys' permission for them to proceed with the project.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, Travis. Nate.
Aye.
Sarah.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Stephanie.
Aye.
Discussion and possible action on reopening City Hall.
We talked about this a little bit at the last meeting. We decided to wait till tonight to discuss it again.
Well, we haven't been open at all, right?
We've been taking people in by appointment, or if they call ahead of time, then we're letting people in like one at a time, but we haven't opened it completely to the public.
I guess, Connie, I had a conversation, and John with Christina about this, and she's in favor of opening. What are you?
She would be the one with the most contact of people. So, I mean, I don't see, I've been seeing people still, but like I said, one at a time by appointment only.
How do you feel? Newbie on the block?
I think if you're going to open, try to encourage people to use the other means available whenever possible, though. Like, just say, I think you done things like save the trip and
Sure.
stuff like that.
Just kind of remind them that they can pay their water bill online.
Yeah.
Remind them that they can, I mean, do we have all the documents? Like, if they, when they, like, for, let's say a golf cart, can they get that stuff online? Can they get the form online? It is ready, available
Yeah, and then
online?
We've issued probably 5 or 6 golf cart permits recently, and they just call us and we tell them what they need. They come in, split
Okay,
second, or- yeah.
okay.
Can come in.
My experience is
Yes,
that,
Okay.
just call ahead.
it hasn't hampered most city operations, all that much in terms of, all right, you just have to make a little, extra
Sure,
interpersonal effort between
sure.
them. But otherwise, I think already people are adapting to the technology available to them.
Sure.
In a lot of ways.
So what do you guys want to do?
I think I'm good. We might as well open it up.
I mean, we let everybody in tonight, so, I mean,
You want to open it tonight, next Monday?
Yeah,
When do you
so-
want to do it?
I would, we could open up tomorrow.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I don't see an issue with tomorrow.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Travis?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Nate?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Discussion and possible action on return of K-9 dog food, K-9 unit dog food.
He
Remember?
asked me to put this on here because he has all the food about $400.
Oh, donated by sauerkraut, the
Yeah, he
sauerkraut.
did reach out to Mount Vernon. They use a different kind that they special order, so they can't use it. You're thinking about just taking it to like a...
Humane Society or rescue?
Cedar Humane Society.
Or donating it in the city's name, or in the sauerkraut committee's name.
I'm fine with that.
I guess I'd say the sauerkraut, I mean, they're the ones that gave it the money, so.
I would do it in Rico's name, on behalf of the sauerkraut committee.
Absolutely do that.
Okay.
And whichever one you feel comfortable with, Rick. Well, we asked him about a fund for rescue. Remember I told you that there was one?
No, I never asked him.
But whichever one you feel comfortable with. I'll make a motion that Rick donates the food on behalf of Rico for the Sauerkraut Day Committee to whichever Humane Society or animal welfare that he feels comfortable with.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. Stephanie?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Nate?
Aye.
Discussion and possible action on selling police Hummer.
Rick also asked me to put this on the agenda. So
We acquired that through a grant that I wrote. We just don't use it. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little space for Travis and put some other things there.
Do you have somebody that's interested in it, or no?
I have a question because I was told that possibly the fire department would be interested in it to use it for grass fires.
I don't know. I mean, my personal opinion, I mean, I can ask the guys, but I don't want to mess with it.
You don't want it.
I really don't have a spot for it. We're out a room and
Put ice in it.
you'd have to, I just don't.
Where's Crow, please?
There's the car show. There's always the car show.
Do you want a sealed bid and then a minimum? You gotta have a minimum.
I put it on govdeals.com.
Around now.
How about an auction? Why sealed?
Do we know what it's worth? I mean,
Put it on an eBay or an auction.
No, I'm just saying, and we don't, like I said, we don't use it. So, you know, if we did take it out and use it, the way things are going now, all these groups want to dismantle military vehicles, which that's what it is. So I just think we get a little money and use it for something.
And you thought it might be worth like a chunk of money.
Yeah, well, it's worth 10,000.
Around
Five
10,000,
figures,
is that what you
yeah.
said, 10,000?
Okay. Travis, you had something?
Question, have we owned it long enough that we're not violating any rules on turning around and reselling something we were given?
It's not an inventory vehicle anymore, so the city has the title to it.
He means for the grant, like we don't have to pay anything back or anything.
Okay, good.
Okay. Travis had a question.
If you put it on governmentdeals.com, a lot of other communities are doing this. You'll see them on there, and they're going from, like Danny said, 10 to 15, up to 18,000.
Is that an auction site or we just name a
Yeah,
price?
that's the auction site.
That's the best place to sell it.
I
Yeah.
make a
do they take a cut?
It's normally the buyer's premium, so the buyer has to normally pay.
Okay, okay.
I make a motion that Rick is allowed to sell the police Hummer. He can list it wherever he sees fit. And you want to do sealed bid, Rick?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, whatever.
All right, and it'll be sealed bid.
Why sealed bid?
Try.
I try that gov deal before you.
Why not do gov deals where it's open bid?
Right?
Is that what you want to do, Rick?
Yeah, you just sell the gov deals. I got an account.
Then I'll amend my motion to be gov deals.
Okay.
Okay, got a motion and a second.
Who's
Sarah.
Aye.
Travis.
Travis?
Nate.
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Stephanie.
Aye.
Discussion and possible action on removal of K-9 equipment from police vehicle.
I put this on here too because Rick needs to get the car back to pre-Rico since we no longer have a K-9 unit.
What does that involve?
The take out, remove the
Take the cage out.
cage and stuff and put the back seat and partition back in it.
Do we got the back seat and everything?
Yeah, it's in up above the city shop and storage.
Anybody?
Is that an assumption that we're never going to have a K-9 again?
There's probably a good chance there won't
Well,
be.
probably before we get rid of that vehicle.
Be a long time.
Anybody
I
want to
make
make
a
a motion?
motion to give him permission to get the car back to pre-K9 unit.
I second the motion.
Is that a cost that we will have to absorb? How much?
I don't know, I wanted to get your permission to look forward to do it. I'm gonna get hold of Chris Hicks. He's the one that's gonna do it.
So you don't have a quote yet?
I don't want to change my motion because Rick is...
It needs to be done.
And I would imagine that he will use his best judgment in the city's best interest to make sure that it's done as cost efficiently as possible, and it has to be done.
We got a motion and a second.
I second it.
Who seconded?
Sarah. Sarah.
Aye.
Stephanie.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Nate.
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
Discussion and possible action on insurance benefits for city employees.
So Bonnie Robinson is here tonight. She works for Acumen, who handles our health insurance, and John and I are currently working on getting the renewal. We're done with the insurance renewal for the medical insurance. Bonnie did have some options for us, but we at this time have chose to keep the policy for the health insurance as it is, because we have so many other things going on right now, we just couldn't possibly deal with that. But one of the things that we did discover is that we have some ancillary insurances that are not with Bonnie, and I would like the council to, I would like Bonnie to present to move those over to her. And the reason for that is because I would like all of the insurance to be under one umbrella so that our people, our workers, have one person to go to for information. I talked to a couple of the workers and they were like, every time I have a problem, I don't know who to call, and I gotta call this person, and then they tell me I gotta call that person, and blah, 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 blah. And it kind of creates a little problem. The other reason that I'm suggesting Bonnie is because she is going to come here in July and meet with all of our employees and their spouses to explain to them what they have for health benefits, how those health benefits work, and what the process looks like if they ever need to use them, so that everybody has a very clear view. I have not this year nor last year heard from the other person who has this insurance now, so I don't know if they just think that it's something that we're just going to leave and set. But Bonnie has a proposal for us to move the ancillary insurance over to Acumen.
Well, just to try to help facilitate moving things along, what I did was I put together some packets of information for you to take a look at. We've discussed this in the past. The matter of moving it simply comes down to switching carriers, simply because today it sits with the League of Cities. And that's an association business which does not allow us to move those this business because we are not the association. That being said, there are many cities out there, probably I'd say half of them, that actually do have benefits outside of the League of Cities. And what I would propose is that we take a look at a couple of different things. One being the life insurance and the AD&D, and then in addition to that, the short-term disability. All would move to the same carrier simply because it's much easier to receive one bill rather than several bills throughout the month. So we want to try to streamline the administration on that, and at the point that the city continues to look at the benefits and enhance them, the other option is also to look at adding some long-term disability in addition to the short-term disability. The long-term disability would cover a period of time, probably from about 13 weeks when typical disability policies end, up until the point where somebody would be Social Security eligible or Social Security disability eligible. And if in the instance somebody was not able to work from an illness or an injury not related to work, then because we have workers' comp for that, then they definitely do not have to worry about having some type of pre-disability income coming in.
So just kind of a little background from my conversation with Bonnie. We currently pay, and Connie, I don't know if you know the number right off the top of your head, but it's $262 and some change, I believe, a month.
$262.34.
$262.34 is what we pay right now for the life insurance and the short-term disability, that type of stuff. Per Bonnie's quote, it does go up by $500 per year. And the reason that I am suggesting that we go with that is because the policy that we have right now does not take effect until after 30 days. So an employee would literally need to be off work for 30 days before they would get any type of coverage. With the new policy that we would be paying the extra $500 a month for, they would get
A month or a year?
Or a year, I'm sorry. They would get coverage on day one.
Of an accident, day 8 of an illness.
So it's a very big difference for our employees of going a month without any kind of money or just going a week at the most without any kind of money. So that's why I would like council to consider that extra $500 a year for that policy. The long-term disability, while I do believe that it is something that we do need to look at, I did let Bonnie know that we have not budgeted for that because that is a more significant cost, $3,000 a year. Which we have not budgeted for, but in that situation, if one of our employees was off work for more than 13 weeks, they would get nothing. They would have no income after that 13th week. Whereas if we had the long-term policy in place, they could get some coverage for that. There's a couple ways that we could do it, which would be the city just pays for it like we do with the other stuff. The other way that we could do it is where the employee could opt in to have it or not to have it. So we could take it to them and we could say it would be this, and that at my job, this is what we do. I have to choose whether I want long-term disability and I pay extra money out of each paycheck in order for me to get that long-term disability.
So it's typically done on a voluntary basis. An employee makes that voluntary election to have it taken out of their paycheck on a per pay period basis. Typically, disability is done on an after-tax basis because in the instance of disability, you do not want to, you want to receive the most benefit possible at the time that you are disabled. We try to do life insurance the same way, on a voluntary life, and also on a disability basis.
This council historically has proven that we are, we care about our employees. We want to make sure that they're covered for anything that could possibly happen. So I'm not asking you guys, unless you feel comfortable, to make a motion on the long term, but I am asking you if you're agreeable to moving the other stuff over with the extra $500 a year cost.
Extra 500 times how many employees?
It's not, it's total of
Total of $500 for all of our employees?
For all 9 employees.
Is a total of 3,000 for all the employees too?
Pardon me?
Is it for the long term?
Yes, on the long-term disability, but it does depend on the type of disability that you provide, whether it be on a voluntary basis or on a non-contributory basis, which is an employer-paid benefit. So that would be a discussion point.
So if we did the employer-paid, that would be the $3,000?
Yes.
And if we decided that we wanted the employees to contribute and decide whether they wanted to use it or not, we don't have a number for that because it's based off of their income.
It is, yes.
Because what you would get would be different than what you would get based off of your income. Everybody.
Because I'm worth much more. So,
Right,
yeah.
exactly. So do you guys have any thoughts on either one of those?
It's presently provided by the league, is it League's insurance?
League Cities,
yeah.
yes.
What do you guys want to do?
I think I like the bring it all under for the 500.
I do too. One umbrella.
The long term, I think that should be a opt-in as opposed to us just doing it.
Ditto.
Got a motion?
That's a motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion, second. Travis?
Aye.
Nate?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
All right.
Get with me and let me know what we need to do next. Thanks, Ronnie.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Public hearing on proposal to enter into an essential purpose loan agreement. Need a motion to go into public hearing?
I motion.
Got a motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Going into public hearing. Anybody have
This is
questions
the
for us?
same stuff we've been talking about. We scheduled this and then rescheduled it because we couldn't get it in the paper. So it's just the going out for bonds for the Phase 1 of the sports complex, the water main project, the new well, and also to refinance the GEO bond that we have right now to a lower interest rate where we would save over $100,000.
This is the $5 million one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And so, tell me again what it was for.
The water main project that we're planning on doing, a new well, Phase 1 of the sports complex, which involves the soccer fields,
Okay.
and refinancing the
The old
bond.
loans.
Which saved us about $100,000.
Yes. So in order to do this, if we want to, because we're going to probably use different funds to pay back this bond, we're not sure, positive, but if we use TIF funds, we have to renew our urban renewal plan. So that's why we're having 2 public hearings for that separately.
Okay.
Any questions?
Motion to go to public hearing.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public hearing on proposal to enter into urban renewal loan agreement. Motion to go into public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
And second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now, Ron, you want to say anything about that?
Same thing, this, so we just have to hold a separate one because there's a possibility we may use TIF funds for this.
Anybody any questions?
About a public hearing.
Got a motion to have second?
Second.
Got a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 31, 2020, taking additional action on proposals to enter into general obligation loan agreements, combining loan agreements, setting the date for sale of general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2020, and authorizing the use of preliminary official statement in connection therewithin. Holy moly.
This is,
Well, go ahead.
So,
this would be the same thing, this would be authorized us to go ahead and go out for bonds on this. We would have a bond, we have a bond letting meeting scheduled for the 29th at 1 o'clock.
Motion to approve the resolution.
Got a
I had a
motion?
motion from Steph, so you had a second.
A second.
Got a motion and a second. Stephanie?
Aye.
Nate?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Travis?
aye.
Resolution 32, 2020, approving the recommendation of hiring a full-time park and rec director. So you,
Park and Rec, Matt, are they here tonight?
Mike had a question.
I just got a comment once you get to the question. It seemed, I really question the timing, since you don't know if you're going to have anybody in the parks the rest of the year. Why would you hire the director now? This has nothing to do with Drayton. I think he does a pretty good job for being lead in it, and that, it just seems the timing right now, when you don't know if you're going to have any programs, is a weird time to hire, to me. So then what? The other thing is, just as an aside, that salary seems, and I can be old-fashioned, but that salary seems really high to me, with the benefit package on top of that. We run Southeast Lynn, the director doesn't make that much money. I mean, we're cheap, but it's different money. I mean, you know, but I'm just saying that seems like not a full-time job to me.
Mike, I can see where you're coming from, but we're about to build a very big sports complex out that way, and that will take a full-time job. And there's going to be a lot that goes in to that complex before it's even built.
That being built.
But there's going to be a lot that it has to be done before it is even built. You know, somebody has to go out to local businesses and get sponsorships I mean, there's just a lot more than that's a full-time job. I mean, honestly, I believe so. That's my opinion. I think.
I agree. Once the complex is in place, we're going to have a lot more programs and a lot more
You bet.
commitment of that position.
Yes.
Within the community. Right now, he already has a lot of other responsibilities outside of just managing programs that for this year are non-existent or very limited. But this is a recommendation that's really taken years to get this far, and the Park and Rec Board is behind it.
I know as a former Park and Rec member and president, we were considering going a full-time person then. And that was the argument, is what are they going to do? Well, in the summer, spring and summer, it's an 80-hour-a-week job. In the winter, it's a 10-hour-a-week job.
And we've also made changes to the actual, there were some changes.
He shovels and stuff now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably from when you were,
But that's my only concern. Again, nothing against Drayton. I think he's the right person for the job. I'm concerned with the salary. Because when we were talking about going full-time, it was like 30 grand.
Yeah.
And to have it basically be an entry-level job, I don't know how much grant writing experience or marketing experience you have to do some of the things with the sports complex. I think it's too much. Not saying you can't do it, but.
also, we now have Mackinac too, which I think needs to
Right.
be brought up into play. And I wish Travis was in here because I know Travis just had a meeting the other day about the care for that. And I think that that's probably a little bit more than we realized it was going to be.
I was a little taken aback when I saw the packet and the salary range that was in there. You're right, we were 75% of this number. And I don't know where that number came from, if that's been floated in front of council.
Number
yet.
came from his hourly rate, that if you divide his hours that we hired him for, and what his salary was, we come up with an hourly rate, and I just took that same hourly rate and added it to 40 hours. That's where that came from.
Okay.
My concern is with the other public works people, so if the rest of his time is going to be shoveling snow or helping board sidewalks, I think it demands more of that type of salary. Or more.
So, but his salary is paid directly from Parks and Rec, right?
Yes.
So if he's doing all this other work, can't part of that salary be taken out of some of that other?
We ran into this before because of the union positions.
Okay.
So Drayton being not a union position, he can't do the job of a union employee and deprive them of getting paid to do that, or getting paid overtime to do that. We ran into that before.
But you could help out at City Hall, somebody's sick or on
A
vacation.
non-union.
So he won't be shoveling snow.
Yes, he takes care of all the
He does
shoveling.
that now.
He does do the
That's
snow
part of
shovel
our
already.
job.
He takes care of.
What's the union position for them?
Union positions are our public works people. So he can't go dig a hole.
You can't drive a plow.
Or
But the public works people can do the stuff he can do.
Yes,
So the union can do the non-union and the non.
but he cannot
The
do
non-union
union.
can't do union.
Right.
That's right.
So how will the hours work? So it's, you say it's 80 hours in the summer, of course, we all know that, but in the winter, so does he still work 40 hours?
We still have basketball programs.
Well, yeah,
and all
he still
that
has
stuff.
basketball.
Okay, I don't know that, that's what I'm asking.
It's,
The goal is to build more programs in the winter, and so that thus he'll be busier. So that's the goal. It's kind of why we're making this a full-time position, is because we want to build our programs. I know, the basketball coach here in Lisbon, the new coach, is very big on, the youth sports. I assume that he's going to be working with him, and so I imagine the winters will be a lot busier now. So
They also do like toddler time over at the school where you can bring your kids in for a couple hours. They've done some camps over the past few years where they've had different people that that did well in that sport or something come in and do a camp for the kids. Drayton, what do you do?
We did a big superhero day at the ballpark, or at the Ball Diamonds. We do moving the parks. We do all of our sports. We're just talking to Matt and Mount Vernon. We're hoping to start back up football and soccer in the fall, so that'll be starting back up. Along with, we are now starting to maintain the Mackinac property, which is huge.
And was there some talk about partnering with Southeast Lynn?
And I've partnered with Southeast Lynn on multiple events, the Superhero Day being one of them, toddler times, all that stuff. We partnered with Southeast Lynn. The gardening stuff that's happening right now, I'm a big part of that as well. I volunteer my time for that, obviously, but I'm a big part of that. There's all kinds of stuff that we've been doing together with Southeast Lynn,
So is this hourly paid or salary paid?
It's salary, because at certain times of the year, he works, like I said, 80 hours a week, and then in the winter, it might only be 20, so it's an average. Right now, he works an average of 24 hours a week, but the position was going to bump up to 40. He's also going to be going through training as soon as COVID lets them have the training to be certified to maintain the
Certified
the
pool
splash
operator.
pad.
That'll be next year.
So that will be.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I raised my hand when splash pad was mentioned before, but when I was involved in this, I fought for a splash pad. That ain't a splash pad. That's a swimming pool. That's why you have to lock it.
Drake, are you getting an indication that, first of all, I think you do an outstanding job. Secondly, are you getting indications that we're going to be allowed to have fall sports?
That is from what, that's not 100%, I'm not gonna say that's 100% from, but what I've been talking to with Matt Siders at Mount Vernon, we base everything we do here pretty much on what he does in Mount Vernon because he's an amazing leader and he's been around Park and Rec for years. I mean, ever since my dad and Sarah Boots did
So he's
it.
getting the feeling that...
He is pretty much the decider on what we do.
And that was a personal question?
Yeah.
Really, it wasn't about your job, I was just on a personal level. I think you do a great job.
Thank you.
So what's comparable salary like Mount Vernon? Is it similar?
Well, I think doesn't Matt do like their planning and zoning stuff?
He does now, but he's not going, I think they're switching that because he's going to be in charge of the wellness center, so.
Matt does quite a bit.
Matt has an assistant that makes more than what Greg's gonna make.
It's a different town though. No, bigger.
What do we want to do?
I'll make a motion to,
My exception is the salary.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
We got a motion by Nate, do I have a second?
I second.
A motion second. Nate?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Stephanie?
I am going to abstain from voting due to
Okay.
the fact that Drake is my son.
Okay. And we
Can I
did.
ask you a question?
Yep.
Because I'm not going to change anything, but so you're just now voting to make it full-time?
It'll start July 1st, right?
No, the recommendation from Park and Rec was, what was the recommendation?
The recommendation was to hire Drayton for the full-time position of Park and Recreation Director.
We already
approved the
posted
position
it,
a while
and they've already, Park and Rec board did interviews.
Did you put it out as a part-time job or a full-time?
Full-time.
Full-time.
We actually ran it for 4 weeks.
The job was.
We posted it in the
Yeah,
Gazette
I
for 2 weeks.
remember that. I didn't remember if it was full-time or part-time.
And we
I didn't know if we
actually
get to full-time now.
ran it for 2 weeks and didn't feel like we got enough, so we ran it for another 2 weeks, and I think we got 1 or 2 more people in that second week.
But he'll
Just
start July
so you know,
1st.
Some of those people wouldn't even interview because of the wage. I don't know what that position makes, but apparently it must be really good money in some places.
But it might be in a bigger city.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I could see it evolving to that once you build more of a program and get stuff going on here and, and add some more. I think that adding some adult things and stuff like that would be much more beneficial.
Okay, moving on. We did the other two. New business is moved to the end. Correspondence.
I didn't have any correspondence this time.
Okay. City engineer report.
David's still here. Poor guy.
I cannot believe he stuck around for this. Wow.
Just a couple of things. Still have not heard anything back from DOT on Highway 30 or our counter offer from county or whoever's here at the time that I get back.
What did we counter offer?
I don't have the exact number, but it was about 40% higher than what we had originally. The other thing is that we would be looking to apply for planning and design loan for looking to start up the design services and the water system improvements. Schedule on that is that we are on the IUP at the application, and then the next round that we would be eligible to apply for CDBG for a portion of that would probably be October. We have to be listed instead of just on the application list for IUP in order for that to happen. So I would expect that we would be looking at that CDBG application, and we'll work with Mark, Courtney, and Mark to get the application filled out, keep that moving. But the water tower, the well would not be eligible for that. And if we want to get started on anything with that up front, we would have to apply for planning and design loan. That's due July 1st, so it's coming up pretty quickly. We already have the numbers in our report, so each one of the age interest, that's a 0% 3-year loan. And we've done that on some other projects where we can just use that to reimburse for engineering fees, study fees, planning fees, geotechnical, anything like that associated with the project that's planned. So if council wants to move forward with that, I can fill out that application, it's about 2 pages, and get that submitted. It doesn't obligate us to anything, it just gives us an opportunity to go on.
Do you want an answer on that?
Just looking for some general direction.
Do you want him to fill out the application? I mean, it's just going to be his cost of his time.
Yep.
Get that here, send it to Connie. That's all I have. Any questions for me?
I have a question about the wells. Just thinking about wells. How many wells do we currently have?
We have 2. We used to have 3. The railroad well was abandoned. The railroad terminated the lease agreement and we're doing the well.
Okay. And what is it that is requiring us, or why are we wanting to get another well?
So the requirement is that if you have your largest well out of service, the remaining wells have to be able to provide for heavy day usage. And the one that's here at the fire station will not supply enough water for heavy usage.
Okay.
So we are deficient. We were relying on being able to rehab or get the contaminant out of the one by the railroad, which the co-op has worked on that for quite some time. And then we have the well part of the railroad terminated the lease. So that opportunity went away. Now we have to look at the next step, which is to go on with it.
All right. Just curious, I was wondering.
Are we getting close to an agreement with the DOT on the business 30?
No, he just said he hadn't heard anything back.
Hasn't heard anything yet.
Still waiting.
What kind of a time frame do you think we're looking at?
Lynn County has received their response, but theirs was roughly the same as what DOT originally offered, so that went pretty quickly. I would imagine they're going through ours pretty closely since we're a fair amount higher than what they originally indicated. And I was hoping to hear back last meeting, and didn't hear anything. They called in and said, they just told me that it's in meetings, so they're reviewing it. I haven't heard much else.
And what he's talking about is when we take over Highway 30, the DOT pays us for Highway 30. And
so that we can fix it.
So we can fix it. And they have a number that they think it's going to be worth. So we have our engineering firm look at what it is, what we think it's going to be. So that's what they're negotiating, that number. Anything else for Dave?
Thanks,
Thanks, Dave.
Sure. All right, thank you.
Public Works Director report.
Travis had to leave, so I'll fill in for him and for myself. Just wanted everybody to know that we did have a water main break last night, right in front of the school. They worked on it all last night, and Travis left to go work on it again tonight. So some people may see a little discoloration in their water. We're hoping to get it finished and repaired tonight. I think that's, they've been working on all kinds of stuff through there. We're out cleaning the streets today, and we're going to be starting on some sidewalks over in the Novak addition and also one other area of town. They're working on a culvert. So the civil engineer has been out doing field surveys at the sports complex, so if you see somebody out there, that's them. They're doing elevation, there you go, elevation stuff out there, and doing surveys. So also the Iowa Great Places application that we've been working on for over a year finally did get completed, and it was submitted June 15th. It's just a waiting game now to see if we get the nomination for to be one of Iowa's great places. So just wanted you guys to know that. And thank everybody on the committee for all their help with that.
Do you have any idea when they're going to paint?
Paint what?
Like lines and stuff?
The street lines, we were waiting on that to see what's going on with Sauerkraut Days. We usually try to do it right before Sauerkraut Days, but if Sauerkraut Days is not going to happen, they're going to wait till afterwards and get some of these other jobs done that they need to do.
Okay. Police chief report. See out there, dolls. I don't think he has anything. Fire chief's report. Brandon said,
How big is your packet? Yeah, okay.
Just a couple things. Unless something drastically changes, we're not going to have the pancake breakfast this year for COVID. just so you guys are aware, the truck we bought from West Branch is going into the shop tomorrow to get some rear end work done. Should only last a day. We're gonna get that taken care of. It's making a clunking noise. EMA side of things, I'm still dealing with COVID-19, obviously, and it's takes a good majority of time to keep it up with things, and I try to keep Connie in the loop on things that are pressing. Main thing I'm focusing on is trying to get PPE stockpile for when a second wave, if it happens, then we'll have it, because we're still requiring everyone to wear at least a surgical mask on all calls with patients, and then depending on their symptoms on the page, it could be upgraded to N95 or a shield. And then obviously you can go full isolation if it's warranted. So just trying to keep everybody in the loop on the ever-changing process of that. That's all I got.
And you told me you had nothing.
Well, not a lot.
I would like for us to, on the July 13th meeting, and for you to be here, to have discussion on this EMA position. Prior to COVID-19, it was a very simple position that didn't require a lot of time and effort. During COVID-19, like real time now, it is a very different position, and Brandon doesn't get paid anything for that. And so I would like to have some discussion with council on rectifying that.
Okay. So we want that on the agenda?
Put it on the agenda.
Okay. Did you get that, Connie?
Yep, I got it.
City Administrator's report.
I don't have anything other than what I've already said.
Okey dokey. Oh, maybe you do want to say something about a street light?
Street light?
Oh, yes, we did get a response back from Lynn County. I sent him an email, and so did Sarah, and I think Nate said he did too. So they're working on that, and we're hoping to hear back from them soon.
It's a street light where
Lisbon Boulevard and
Lisbon Boulevard and
Business 30.
it's pretty dark out there, so.
And in Business 30. Yep. But we did get a response. He did apologize for taking so long to respond.
And they said it would be similar to where? The light-
At the end of Washington.
One in Washington.
One in Washington all the way up.
I was trying to remember where it was.
Mayor's report, I'll do mine last. Council reports, let's start with Sarah.
I don't have anything, but thanks to the public work guys that have been working their rear off on the water main. So thank you. They're not here to accept it. Thanks for all the hard work on COVID, Mr. Smarty Pants. Whatever. Brandon, good job. He knows more than I do. That's all I got.
Nate?
Very nice. Ditto to everything there. Thank you to all the citizens who came in tonight and showed concern for our actions over the last couple of months. That's it.
John?
Well, thanks to the public works, getting my water back on.
You were right in front of it.
And thanks to the public that has shown interest in coming to this meeting. I think it's most people have had it in my memory.
Since the chickens.
Yeah, since the chickens.
Chickens were huge.
That's all I have.
Travis?
I did want to say thanks for the public coming out. I hope that next year we will see a few names on the ballot as opposed to not enough. Last few years or last few elections, we haven't got enough people on there, so it'd be nice to see some new names out there. That's all I got.
Stephanie?
Well, I definitely want to thank the Public Works. I know they worked overnight last night. It sounds like they're back out there again tonight. Would like to mention that, they have that blocked off and shut off, and apparently last night somebody, or even during daylight, ran over the little thing that they have over the hole, and thankfully nobody was under there, or we could have really had a problem. So, people definitely need to be paying attention and be diligent when stuff like that is happening. And I am very happy that we had a lot of the public here tonight. I hope that everybody will be here again on the 13th, and every meeting after that, even if there's nothing on there that is appealing to you. I think it's really important for people to know what's happening and to get it, I look at the splash pad. We had a huge discussion in the council meeting about why we weren't opening the splash pad. We voted on it, decided not to open it, and a couple days later, we get an email from somebody that doesn't understand why we're not opening it because the governor just looked at all the restrictions and said that you could open it. Well, had they been at that meeting, they would know that the reason that we didn't open it had nothing to do with the governor's restrictions, but everything to do with the fact that we can't see the bottom of it, we have to shut it down. And we felt like with the number of people that would be coming in, we would be shutting it down all the time. So there's a lot of discussion that goes on before the actual vote, and there's a lot of information in that discussion that you're missing out on when you're not here. John and I have finished up all of the meetings with the employees. Really great meetings. I felt like they were really great meetings. I think John did as well. I'm very, very happy that we went that route. We are planning to do that again in 2 to 3 months, and then from there we'll decide whether it becomes a 6-month thing or another 2 or 3 months. I would also like to start with some type of employee team building thing. And it probably would take place during an actual workday, so we will be paying employees to have some fun during their workday, to try to get the team back together, build some morale around here, and get everybody so that they're feeling happy and they love their job and they're happy that they work for the city of Lisbon. So John and I will work on that to see where we can get on schedule and something like that. We're also working on the union contract, so that's in the works, and we're working on that. We just finished up the insurance tonight. Was there anything else, John? Oh, the clerk. We went out we're posting for the clerk position, so that's the other thing that we were working on. And then obviously we've got this interim administrator. So I think that covers everything that we've been working on. Did I miss anything? That's it.
I appreciate all the citizens coming out tonight. I really do. People got to realize, and I wish Mike was in here, but he left. But there's things that, as we're going to have 2 mayors in here, there's things that we cannot talk about to public. I mean, it's just, we cannot talk. I mean, there's stuff I know that these guys don't know. I mean, there's stuff that I talked to Connie about that these guys don't know. There's stuff I talked to Rick that they don't know about. So there's a fine line that us as a council and mayor, we walk. I mean, so as for saying that we hold information back from you, we do not. If we can tell you, we will tell you. I mean, but there is some things we cannot tell you. So, but I do appreciate people coming out, and like I said, we're an open book. I mean, we don't have nothing to hide. I mean, we really don't. I mean, so with that being said, I enjoyed my time that I have served here for this great city. It comes with heavy heart that I will be taking a leave of absence as mayor. This was not an easy decision to make, but due to personal and health concerns, I have determined this is my best option. This city will keep moving forward with the many great citizens, employees, and wonderful council. It will be effective tomorrow.
And just so you guys know, as Doug takes that lead, Nate is Mayor Pro Tem, so Nate will step into that position until either Doug comes back or we make the decision he doesn't want to come back. And then at that time, council would appoint potentially somebody to be in the mayor's spot for the remainder of, or I guess until an election, so maybe until next November or this November. We'll cross that bridge if we ever get to it. But so starting tomorrow, Nate would be your point of contact if you're trying to do anything that concerns the mayor. Nate will still also get to vote as a voting council member, just so that that's clear for everybody. So even though he'll be doing mayoral duties, when we have our council meetings, he'll still be the fifth council member as well. And he would stay that way unless we appointed him to take Doug's spot, and then at that point, he would lose his voting.
And I have reached out to Nate and told him if he has any questions at all that he don't feel comfortable. I mean, he's more than free to call me. I mean, I'm not just walking away and saying screw this, you know. I mean, I'll still work, you know, Nate, and I'm sure will ask some questions, and I mean, that's fine, but I mean, I can't do it anymore right now. So moving on, possible closed session pursuant code Iowa section 21.5, I can't see it, 1C, to discuss strategy with council on matters that are presently in litigation or where litigation is imminent, where its disclosure would likely to prejudice or disadvantage the position of government body in that litigation. Holy Jesus, Mark.
I make a motion to go into closed session due to possible litigation.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Steph?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
John? Aye. Travis?
Aye.
Nate?
Aye.